Hi. One thing I do want to make very clear though, I'm angry, but I'm angry at the former police department, not the current so much. I have been frustrated at the current police department mainly because they're hesitant to at least acknowledge aspects of activities of their predecessors, which I understand to a point, but the current staff members in the police department and the sexual assault team, I can't, I'm not able to use the whole brush to paint everybody with, because there are, in every sector, in every industry, there's always amazing people who are dedicated, hardworking, short-staffed, really stretched with their staffing, and excuse me, and I don't want to be bad-mouthing our current police officers and, especially our detectives. I do have frustrations with their lack of acknowledgement from previous histories. That's where my frustration lies, but it doesn't discount the amount of work that they've been doing, because things, excuse me, in 2007, there was an overhaul. So in terms of how sexual assault victims, both adult and minor, were managed is the wrong word, were responded to, and the way in which they navigate is different. So I understand that while I've been posting on my channel frustrations, all of my anger and injustice lies with the predecessor of, the predecessors within Dunedin Police from 70s, 80s, 90s, and I'm aware that some of the people in the police department have worked through, the 90s and everything, and have seen some stuff, but not every single detective, police officer is going to be, associated with, questionable activities or questionable conduct. Just the same as it is with social workers. Not every there's going to be social workers who really should not be in that sector or environment. But you can't wipe all of them off and write them off. Okay, I'm very conscious of that, and I know that there are detectives and police officers who are the job. They dedicate themselves, their whole being, and they spend time away from their families to do what they do. So it's not that I'm ungrateful. I do understand that there is a very strong dedication and love for the job there, and they conduct themselves with, firm belief, and dignity in what they do for the people that they help. But the predecessors, I do feel for the police in the current environment too, because they're also most likely dealing with the fallout from their predecessors, but can't really acknowledge it to anybody else outside their environment. So, tricky situation for them to be in too, at times. So, I'm not being two-faced or on one hand, saying one thing but doing another. I am appreciative, but I'm also very, very, very angry about previous goings on within the corrupt aspect in the decades that we had here in Dunedin. Okay, so that can't be discounted, but equally so, there are some very good, kind-hearted, decent detectives and officers within our police community that I do believe are hardworking in what they do. So you have to be fair there. So there's a anything that I've been saying on my channel, yeah, it's directed to previous history, to historical issues, historical cases that have been, just, there's a lot of injustice there, historically. So that is where my anger and frustration is, most of the time. I get this frustration there with not having the police being able to acknowledge previous situations, but they know. But just as much, they are also hardworking, and I get their staffing is hideous at the moment. They've really got to work so hard because they're very, very stretched with staffing and time. So I just thought that's really important to note.